it does make such a difference how we listen to anything, whether it is a very simple fact, very simple understanding required, but within the self, right now, for all of us, there are so many beliefs and filters based on these beliefs about everything, but also about ourselves. So unless we are very clear about who we are, and unless we experience the qualities of the self, then whatever we listen, it is filtered through these beliefs, but also the feelings that come with these beliefs. So if I'm at peace, if I'm happy, then I can listen to everything in a very different way, especially when it comes for very, very simple, but very, very, very refined knowledge that requires the simplicity of and the cleanliness of the true self. So the true self can listen to wisdom and immediately create a feeling. And it's not that it creates, it emerges, the truth emerges, the feeling, when we listen in the right way. And the best way is to just forget the role, just forget the noise of my mind and see that I am a silent presence, innocence and total innocent and totally trusting to the source of the wisdom.
To meet means to become equal to the Father. Children, all of you elevated souls are equal to the Father in all virtues and all attainments. You are the masters. You are even more elevated than the Father. You are the crown on the Father's head. Have you become Master Almighty authorities and full masters, full of all virtues, equal to the Father? Only when you become equal to the Father at this time, you will become those future deities who have a right to the kingdom of the world. Are you continually checking yourself to see to what extent you have become equal to the Father, whilst keeping each virtue and power in front of you? Check yourself as to what percentage you have become an embodiment of each virtue and power.
Such wisdom, given in such a simple way, and also the method to be applied. And when you meet someone, if there are no filters, if there is trust, you are subconsciously open to feel what the other person feels. There are no defense mechanisms. There are no thoughts of proving something or impressing. When the one you meet is the one you totally trust, that is the ocean of virtues, of love, of wisdom. If the one you meet is God, you are just open to their presence, and the presence of God is power and virtues. And then you are colored, you are absorbing from this meeting the qualities of that personality. So God is the ocean of powers, the almighty authority, the ocean of virtues. So in a second, I can become aware of him, but with innocence, simplicity, trust, and I can absorb, and I can see that I am, because The moment we let go of all other filters and beliefs, we are left with who we are, and we are like our Father. So that's why for God it's all so simple. For the Supreme Being, for the wise companion, it is all so simple. Just realize who you are, just say that you are the child of God, and just trust and be in front of Him as much as possible. And then check whether this expresses itself in action, whether this color of His company translates in virtues and powers, in the scenes of the drama.
However, what enters your intellect when you find something difficult? What is it that makes you feel it is difficult? You are very experienced in this. Instead of looking at the Father, you begin to look at the situation. When you get engrossed in the situation, many questions arise. If you were just to look at the Father, then because He is a point, you would be able to put a full stop to all situations. Situations are the tree, and the Father is a seed. Because you try to carry the tree of expansion, you are neither able to hold the tree nor the Father. You put the Father aside and are unable to accommodate the tree of expansion in your intellects. Then, because you are unable to fulfill your desire, you get disheartened. The sign of someone being disheartened is that he is constantly complaining about one or other situation or person. The more he complains, the more he himself becomes trapped. Because all of that expansion in itself becomes a trap. Like it was mentioned, when I think of myself, when you look in the mirror of truth, do you see your original, eternal nature of the soul? Do you see the lion? Or do you see the fear and the temporary weaknesses? When you look in the mirror, do you see the angel? Or do you see the decayed and degraded temporary dependencies? All of that is temporary and it is meant to finish. So being able to see that you are like the Father, you do have that specialties, that virtues. You are a master ocean of all virtues, of all powers, of all attainments. You are able to understand that others are also in the same way. It is not only you. There is a saying, son shows the father. That does not apply to only one soul. Son shows the father doesn't mean only one human being is the one that can attain liberation and liberation in life. Everyone has that potential. Everyone has the ability to understand that their highest nature is one of purity, loveliness, generosity, divinity, humility, all the good adjectives refer to you and your character. However, as it was described by the wise companion, there are small defects in the way, small weaknesses, and those are called difficulties. And why there is a difficulty, it was described as being a wrong way of looking. Instead of looking at the Father, you are looking at the situations. So let's say something happens today. It can be something at work, in the family, or even in your inner world. You observe yourself and you realize same bad old habits are coming back. And that becomes a problem in itself for you. And you start to look at the situation, at what happened in the past, what is happening now, what others have said. All of that are making you lose attention, lose concentration. You are seeing the situation, you are making it big, you get trapped in it, whilst the spiritual knowledge would suggest, look at the one who is your wise companion. Look at the Father. When you look at the Father, you are reminded of the eternal, divine nature of the Father and of yourself. You are also reminded that everything can be merged in one point of knowledge, one point of essential understanding of everything around you. You understand that not only you are like a point, but everything around you is part of a play, of a game that you can also understand as being small. In your mind, its significance becomes smaller. So let us look at this summary of what are the issues when you look at situations and how that can be changed into solutions. When you look at a situation again and again, it will expand, it will become big. You will have questions about it. You will wonder why was like that, why it's always happening to me. And by keep looking at what you don't have in a situation, you become disheartened. You feel, well, I never get what I want. And you start complaining. First complain, of course, it's about yourself. And that complaint about the self changes into bad will for yourself. You cannot have good wishes for yourself. And you feel trapped. Eventually, the mind and the intellect will be trapped in all that waste and negative thoughts. On the other side, if you think about the Father, the Supreme Soul, the companion, you realize his form is of a seed of good wishes, of pure, benevolent thoughts. You are able to immediately put a full stop to any issue, any trouble. You experience being in the company of someone who is loving, joyful, wise, generous. Your attention is not towards complaining, but your attention is towards serving others. You are an easy yogi. You remain easy about everything, and you offer easiness, lightness. You offer solutions. You become an embodiment of solutions, not an embodiment of complaints. Let us hear from you. Would you like to share your thoughts on these words of wisdom? Then the practice for today will be to observe when a situation occurs, look at that situation and immediately remind yourself, I can be in the company of the Father. The form of the soul is that of a point. The eternal qualities and powers of the Father are also the qualities of the soul. You are capable. You are good. You are an angel. You are eternal and divine. And you are able to remain easy and light by coming above the situation in the angelic consciousness, in the company of the Father and of all his angels. This is a practice for today. We meet again tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.